Remember old school space missions? Utini Farm remembers. That and more on this episode of the Escape Podcast for Star Wars The Old Republic. Our broadcast astromech today is EPC 384. And playing alongside me is Seema. Hi, Seema. How's it going?
Going really well. I decided recently that I was going to stop being all angsty about not knowing the end of the galactic seasons this season, not knowing the precise end. And this was before we got the post today that was telling us the precise end. But I decided that just close enough would be good enough, because actually in life, generally, it is true. Like, close enough is good enough. And so I'm just not worried about that anymore. So I made like a spreadsheet for it though, but I just did it.
I was trying to think of the phrase that my old man used to say, and it's close only counts and horseshoes and hand grenades.
and many other things.
Just horseshoes and hand grenades. He also used to say, close enough for government work.
Right. My dad used to say,
when we would like half-ass something.
My dad used to say, good enough for country and Western.
There we go.
I don't know where that came from.
Anyway, sorry,
yeah.
I interrupted you. You were doing many things.
Yeah, so, doing many things. I forgot what I was going to say about, but so anyway, I gave up on having that particular angst. I made a spreadsheet where I just said, okay, it's going to be 20 weeks. I have to do this many points every week. Because really all I wanted to know was if I was about on track. Right. And in the end, it doesn't matter, because even if I'm not on track, I can just buy at the end if I want to. So yep. I don't know. There's the MMO player in me that just gets upset anyway, even though I know in my mind that I can be successful no matter which. I still have this like, I want to know when I'm racking up those points, if they're, what the total is that I'm looking for. Anyway, so there's that. No longer upset or angsty about that. We had a very relaxed night, and our ops team tonight, it was a lot of fun. We went and did Duxon.
Right.
Which I just realized that's a weekly priority for me, so maybe I got points for that.
Right. That's why we did it.
Yes.
That is the case. It was a weekly priority. It was group finder, and it was conquest. A lot of conquest points.
Yeah. And then we had lots of time left over, so we went and did Master Mode Nephra. And then we had time left over still, and so then we went and did Veteran Mode TC. So we were like all over the galaxy doing various things. It was just a fun night in general. Throughout the week, I'm still leveling my mage, thinking about creating characters for next week, which I haven't done yet, because there's a possibility we might try for winning a planet for Total Galactic War, in which case I want to have some new characters for that. And I have to get them in the guild this week so their points would count.
Right.
So I need to do that before Monday night, but actually I need to do that like tomorrow so that I don't leave it to the last minute.
Right.
So yeah, I think I'm going to do like Sage Sork, because we're probably going to be on the imp side. I think I might do it on Sorks, because I like playing my Sork when I want to kill a lot of things. Like, my Sorks are better for the sort of galactic seasons type of stuff. And then my Shadows and Scoundrels are good for like conquest, because I can do quick heroics. But occasionally galactic seasons I get one to do heroics, and then I can do those. Anyway, now I'm talking a lot, so let's move on. How was your week, Max?
Great. I was doing a little bit of that same prep for potentially for Total Galactic War. After the last Total Galactic War, I already added 2 characters at level 10, so they're ready to go. Actually,
I remember.
The assassin's at level 9. I did an assassin and a merc. I may add 2 more, because now that we know that we're going to do it on the Imperial side. I also like doing conquest on Sorks, especially PvP. I usually like it on Sorks and Sages. That's what I'm just muscle memory most familiar with on Sorks and Sages. So I'll probably add a Sork into the mix as well. The reason we're talking about adding the characters, as Seema said, 2 reasons. If you're going to do total Galactic War, if you're going to contribute to Conquest to a guild total, you have to have added the character to the guild in the previous week before the weekly reset, for one. For two, leveling up a character, and the Conquest doesn't start counting until level 10, but leveling up a character from level 10 even to like level 30, you will get thousands and thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of Conquest points just from leveling and doing all of the things each day. Put a few levels on each of those characters each day, you'll get tons of points. But don't beat our guild, whoever's listening to this.
Right.
Let's stop
Don't
it.
beat our
Stop it.
guild.
Stop giving away the secrets. After next week, we'll tell you how to win Total Galactic War. I also created a spreadsheet this week. I finally broke down, because I do this thing of this was your trick. Go to the guild window, click sort by legacy, click then the last column to drop down by conquest points, and then you can see where each of your characters are for the week. So here I can see here's all my characters just on the Imperial side, and here's all their point totals. Because I do this, I used to do this all the time, and I still do it on occasion. First character you log in during the day, I've had crew missions out, a character companion goes over the limit, and now I like burned up a bunch of potential conquest points on a character that didn't need them. So now I can tell which characters I should log in on. And then when I hit get one to target, I know which character I can go to next without having to log each character in or look at this screen. I finally put it in a spreadsheet. And so here's my spreadsheet. I even put conditional formatting on the spreadsheet. So
until victory is achieved.
Victory is achieved. If it's already hit conquest target, it colors itself red. If it's a level 75 character that has not yet hit conquest target, it's highlighted, because you only get the fragments, tech frags, for level 75 characters. You don't get it for the lower level characters. I've been pushing a lot of lower level characters to conquest target the past few weeks because it's fun to put levels on them. And I realized 2 weeks later, you don't get the tech frags on those under 75 characters at the Tuesday reset. So now I've got a spreadsheet, lays it all out. After I log out of each character, I need to make sure I update the spreadsheet. But because I'm doing this so much lately and focused on pushing more and more characters, I'm pushing 15, 20 characters a week to conquest target, it was fun to put together the spreadsheet. So there you go. One other little trick, if you use OneNote on Windows, if you take a screenshot of, say this chunk of all your characters with all of these totals, paste it into OneNote, you have to wait about 5 minutes. It's a little weird because it sends it to it's got to sync the notebook and it sends it to the server. And then there's another queue with an AI that's watching pictures. About 5 minutes later, you'll be able to right click on the picture in your OneNote notebook and select all the text out of it. It does a character recognition. It selects all the text.
Oh, nice.
So that's how I built my spreadsheet. It put it all like in one long column. I had to I had to copy it over into horizontal columns. It just lined it up all vertically, but it's kind of a cool trick on the side. And Total Galactic War Prep, and that's what I've been doing. That's been me. Let's see what BioWare has been doing. One last thing, because I mentioned BioWare. Still playing some Mass Effect. I'm about halfway through Mass Effect 2 now. Good stuff. Very good stuff. And
I hear it's really good.
It was really fun to get to the end of Mass Effect 1 and see all of the writers and devs and recognize a whole bunch of names that built Star Wars: The Old Republic. Like Drew Karpyshyn, the lead writer for Mass Effect 1, at least, and I know he worked on the other ones too. He did a whole bunch of the work on Star Wars: The Old Republic as it was originally getting put together. Cool stuff. So that's what I've been doing. Let's find out what else BioWare has been doing.
Now, an Imperial News Network report.
First up, as Seema mentioned, we do have a definitive end date for Galactic Seasons. David Statz did put together a post which clarified a few things out of Galactic Seasons that people have sort of been sort of frequently asked questions that people have had. First up on the frequently asked questions, I think, David's probably listened to our podcast every week. He's probably in the chat room right now. Hey, David, shout out to you in the chat room.
Hi.
Thanks for getting this one because we've been talking about it the last few weeks. Season 1 will end on Tuesday, September 28th at 12 p.m. GMT. And I get that we're being a little finicky because they said 5 months, and it is 5 months, and here's the exact end date. But because people will need, as you get close, we'll definitely need to know that end date if you're going to do a catch up at the very end.
Right.
And 5 months can mean a lot of things. It could mean 20 weeks. It could mean 5 calendar months. So it's really good to know. So thank you for that. And then there was a couple other clarifications, like the Galactic Seasons tokens, the GS tokens. You can get a maximum of 15 when you're going to use 8 of them to unlock the Stronghold, for example. Will the other 7 disappear at the end of the season? No, they'll carry over. That was always
Right.
the intent from the beginning. And a couple other things. Priority objectives. There's a little bit of a discussion in here. Did you read the stuff on the discussion of priority objectives and that they might give it a little bit more variety in the future? Did any of this sort of
Yes.
catch your eye? What did they say about sharing? I didn't, TLDR, I didn't get to that
So
part.
so what they said about sharing was pretty specific. Like people have said, can we share our priorities with someone else? And what they said was, since it's not built on the same foundation that missions are, there's no easy way for them to allow us to share them. But they said they heard the message that we want to do it with our friends, and they're looking at ways possibly in the future sometime.
Right, I see here. We
But
know that it's
specifically,
important.
they kind of
We're
they kind of
looking at
narrowed
aspects.
it on the sharing way. Like, I don't care if I can share it or not share it. I just want to be able to do it with my friends.
Right. Just sync it up with the friends. However, yeah. So
Yeah.
so if you're right, you're absolutely right. Yes, I said sharing, and you're thinking of the share mission button in the quest log. I don't care. I don't care if you. Yeah, I know it's not built on that. I just want to do it with my friends. So ignore the feature that it sounds like. Just make it so I can do whatever my friends are doing. However you want to
Yeah.
do that. How
He didn't
about
really touch on
if you gave us the option to do all 4 and we got to pick any 2 of the 4 that we
Right.
wanted? Wouldn't
Right.
that be crazy?
right, because they said they never intend for Galactic Seasons to have the same level of variety that Conquest does. But what you said is perfect, right? You just give us a chance at all 4.
Especially at the weekly.
Or
The weekly
right.
is large group content. And forcing you to not be able to forcing at least subset of a large gaming community to not even be able to do it with your friends. And now we're seeing, and hopefully they have some stats that show this, the people that don't want to PvP are skipping that weekly objective and not PvPing. So I get it, you're trying to force people to try new things, but if the
And find new
non-PvPers
friends.
aren't PvPing and the non-operations people, like the PvPers who don't do operations, aren't doing operations, let us do what we want.
Or the people that don't do either.
Right. The people that, Flashpoint people that
And
just
I
want the
think-
Flashpoint one every week and
I
then
think-
end up never getting it, they're going to get really frustrated.
I think that the people who don't PvP and also don't do operations that's like the major number of people in the game.
Right. Right. True. True. Join
Loyalty,
us
duty,
in aie-guild.org and you
Imperial
can come
Navy
do operations
secures
with
our
us.
empire's
Yes,
dominance
that's
across
right,
the
you can.
far
There you go.
corners of the galaxy.
How
Report
about...
to recruitment staff for more
Boy, this
information.
guy's loud. I wish I could just mute the announcer on the fleet. There's a feature request. I need
As
to
long as we're
just
asking for things.
individual volume control for the fleet announcer. He's got a good
it'll
voice
affect
though.
it'll affect 3 people in the game, so.
What do we have for events coming up in June, Seema?
Oh yeah, so we do have a post about the events that'll be in June. So right now we're having Bounty Contract Week, so that's the first event in June. Then in 2 weeks, starting on the 15th, we'll have the swoop races. Then in 2 weeks after that, starting on the 29th, we'll have the Rakghoul event, which is going to be on Tatooine. That is also the start of another double XP because we just really came off of one. Another
Mm-hmm.
double XP for 2 weeks.
Double
And
week, double
also,
XP. Sweet.
Max, put this on your calendar.
Yes.
Starting on June 29th through August 10th, Narshada Nightlife.
Awesome. June 29th through August 10th. So that's like 3 months. I've got plenty of time.
Yeah, we'll start on August 9th.
Yeah. More likely we'll on August
Start on
11th
August 11th. Yeah.
we will say, is Nightlife still going on? Everyone, chat room, Twitter, interweb, June 29th, remind me to go burn 1,000,000 credits, not get the Gamorrean, and be really angry.
Like Galahad said early in the evening, I wonder which companion Max won't get this year.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, I wonder if they'll add a new companion for me not to get this year. That would be really fun to see what I won't get. All right, so that's fun. And then finally, there was even some discussion in that David Stats post on the kinds of things, especially the companions that you can buy, and to certainly be careful because they actually took it off of the vendor right now. There's a bug where buying the old companions won't allow you to unlock the companions. There's problems with that of using those Galactic Season tokens on the Joliet Null vendor. They took those companions off of that vendor for now. In update 6.3a, it was temporarily disabled. They're going to put them back on and get that fixed. They're just not working, so they needed to fix that alert issue before they go back up there.
Actually, now that you're bringing that up, I wanted to say too, back when we were talking about that original post with that had the end date for Galaxy Seasons from David Stats, there's a lot of info in there. And he also gave us some background in the initial bugs there were with the priority targets. So that is the kind of feedback and background and info that I love getting. So I just wanted to say thank you for this post. It's a great post. And if you want to read some history on why the bugs happened and how they happened, it's in this post. So that's cool.
Yeah. Guild and community news. We have a guild and a community. It's a guild community. That's the news. AIE-guild.org. What's tomorrow?
Master mode flashpoints with Mei Lung. So
Great.
that this is the first week.
It's the
first
first
Friday of June.
What about second Friday?
So second Friday is going to be hard mode ops training with Marcus.
Oh,
Third
okay.
Friday is
That's good. That's so. I know we had a couple people asking about that, especially through the interweb and the podcast. That's open. So a week from Friday. So this is the 11th, June 11th. If you're listening to this sometime in the following week, June 11th is the next hard mode operations training night. So Marcus has got a team. It's open invitation. It's usually either 8 or 6. If you can get 16 people, I think they even did 16 last 3 weeks ago when they did it last. It's open on a Friday night, 8 p.m. Central. Join, drop into our Discord, aie-guild.org. Tell Marcus you want to get in on it, and you get to try out some hard mode fights just to get the feel of it, see what they're like.
Yeah.
They do get
it's
some bosses
open.
down. It's kind of cool.
Anyone can join, but some advance notice is necessary so that he knows he's got healers and tanks and deep, the right.
And he's got a couple requirements, not a lot, but he's got a couple requirements in there, so you want to ask about that. He wants people to have done the fight on story mode so you kind of know what to expect, have 306 gear. You don't have to be like min-maxed. You don't have to be an expert at all. In fact, it's designed for you to not be. But a little bit of a baseline so that the team can sort of come together. All right. In our broader guild community, Burning Crusade has launched in Classic. That's looking really good. No Man's Sky had a graphical update that looks really sweet. I was in there this week, or yesterday or today. Let me see, just off the top of my head, what else? ESO had an expansion that just came out this week. Our board game group, I think they're even going on right now, or or maybe they already wrapped up. Jeez, it's late. Yeah, nobody stays up this late. So the board game group ran tonight. They've moved to 2 Thursdays a month. So that has been fun. Valheim, we're still doing some boss kills there. Good stuff going on there. Mass Effect, got a bunch of people that are discussing and playing Mass Effect more than I even expected. We should maybe make a channel. Well, it's hard to do like a spoilers or a discussion channel because it's Mass Effect 1, 2, and 3, and everybody's at different places. But tons of good stuff, especially in Star Wars. Come join us, aie-guild.org. We would love to have you. Starforge, guilds on both the Republic and the Empire sides. We can get you in. It would be great. And now, chat room was just asking, what's this week's topic? As we said in the intro, do you remember the old school space missions? Utini Farm remembers. We are going to talk. This came up in guild chat a few times in the past, in the past month. It comes up from time to time. Well, let's just go straight to Seema. Why does it come up? Why are people asking? There's lots of reasons, but in particular, because of Conquest in particular, right?
So yeah, so like if you do one of the operation missions that are space missions, you get a rep token for the space mission rep, and that will normally get you to your conquest target, and that is if you have the stronghold bonus up to whatever the max is. But even if it isn't, it's a huge chunk of conquest.
Right.
So
and that's one of the few reps that people don't have done typically.
That's right.
So that's a great one. Yeah, it is a ton of points too, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
As you said, we're doing just one space mission and getting that token in the right way, and Seema will tell you how to do it. Seema is our expert on space missions. You got to do it the right way. You get 45,000 points for doing for the advancement in reputation, and then just the other conquest points for completing a space mission and stuff, or finishing a bonus mission or whatever.
Right.
You'll get it done. Yeah.
And,
so a lot of people
you might even
asking.
get a renown level, and yeah.
So
it's good for rep in general, because if you don't have that rep, then maybe you want to build that rep.
I don't even know if I have
personally.
That rep finish. You have it finished, right?
No, I don't have the rep finished. That's why I do space missions, because
I don't have.
I do it for conquest.
No, I got plenty of room. Yeah.
Yeah, I still got plenty of room too, because basically, you get, I think, 200 rep for doing a normal space mission. So yeah, it'll last for a long time. I recently finished up IOCATH rep, and I'm like, oh, because that was one of my go-tos as well. But rep is one reason for doing it. Conquest is one reason for doing it. You do actually get XP for the space missions, and you get XP every time you destroy something in a space mission. It's not a lot of XP though. If XP is your goal, there's so many ways to make more XP.
Right. Although it used to be, back when we didn't have all of these ways to make XP, it used to be for the time spent, one of the top XP per minute activities you could do.
That's true.
What's this next bullet? I don't understand this one.
Fun times. You might enjoy the space missions. They are nothing like Galactic Starfighter.
People don't play games for fun. What are you talking about, Seema?
They're completely different from GSF. So if you love GSF, you might hate space missions. If you don't like GSF, you might like space missions. They're yes. So anyway,
it's like an arcade game on rails. If you haven't done them yet.
Yes, and it is completely private solo everything. So
private
like
solo
you might
PvE and some really cool PvE, like you want to assault an Imperial destroyer. Do you want to fly your class ship and go and bomb an Imperial destroyer? You get to do that in these space missions on rails, which is, I wish we could do that in GSF, and you can't. So that's a good point.
The very first time you do a space mission, you will get a major experience boost, and you get a piece of armor for your ship.
Right.
That you have to do that first mission before you can actually do the missions from the terminal. The missions from the terminal are the ones that are going to give you rep. So the very first one doesn't give you rep, but you do get that major experience boost, which if you're leveling, those come in handy.
Right, and they stack with other boosts. They stack with double XP even. They
Yes, they
stack
do.
with the XP armor. So it
They don't
is.
stack in your inventory because I think it's a special. It's
Oh,
a special like. But anyway,
yeah, I meant the buff stacks. The item will
the
just
buff
take up
does
extra
stack.
space.
Yeah, yeah.
Thankfully.
Um, and then you get fleet commendations for doing the missions from the terminal. So
Which are useful. In fact, I'm going to go over to that vendor on the fleet so we can look at those while we're talking too, because there's some good stuff you can get with the fleet comms,
yes,
which is kind of cool. Which one? Yeah.
you can get. First of all, you can get upgrades for your ship, but we can talk about equipment a little bit later. But yeah, if you're a GSF player, you're already getting fleet commendations, and you may have, I don't know, but you may have more than you know what to do with, in which case you can kit out your ship for space missions if you want to.
I have a lot. I have almost 6,000.
Yeah.
Over
So
5,000.
like,
5,000.
yeah, you get fleet commendations from doing space missions, but it's on an old scale level of amount. It's nothing like what you can get from GSF.
Right.
Okay. But since we've been getting fleet comms in Galactic Seasons, you may have accumulated a few. And by the way, fleet commendations are per character currency. They don't add up across your characters. So you have to, like, when you get that login reward that's fleet comms, make sure you do it on the right character.
And the ship gear is a character tab on your character sheet. That's not
Yes.
shared between characters either. If I'm going to
Yes.
do space missions, I'm always doing it on my main on either side, on my mercenary and my vanguard, for that reason in particular. Yep. Good.
All right,
Good
then.
call. Do you have two characters in particular that you do them on? Do you have a kitted out ship? I'm sure you do.
I do have one kitted out ship, and that's what I used to do for rep, because it used to be that you could only get rep from the highest tier of space missions. Now they've opened it up so you can get them from any of the missions off the terminal. So now I just do them on whatever character I want to hit conquest on that day.
Sure. All right, so tell us a little bit about the space missions. All right. How do we do them? How do Seema? How do?
So the space missions normally have one main objective, and then there'll be like there could be a couple of bonus objectives as well, like
Any
1, 2, or
suspicious
3 bonus
activity
objectives.
must be reported to station security
You have to
once.
you have to succeed at the main objective in order to be successful at the mission and get the rewards from the mission, or at least that's the intention. The bonus missions you can do or
We'll
not
find a
do,
better
that's up to
bargain.
you. Some of the bonus missions are restricted to level, like you may be able to do a space mission, but the bonus doesn't appear until you get to a certain level. The bonus often don't track until you hit the first target of that objective. So like if you have a bonus that says hit 20
Imperial bombers,
guns,
yeah,
hit 20 guns on a frigate, it won't show up in the tracker until you hit the first gun on a frigate. So since we've been talking about conquest, I'll just say if you want to do a space mission for conquest, you might want to do a bonus mission on another character first to use up that iteration of a conquest target, because you won't need it on the one that's doing the space mission.
Yeah, don't waste it. Don't waste
waste
those
it.
points.
I mean, it's not a lot.
Like
I mean, I think it's yeah.
5K points or so.
You do get XP for everything that you shoot. So you get XP from completing missions and from completing bonus missions, but you get XP and renown, I think, from everything you shoot.
Oh, great. Well, that's good. I wonder if you get like galactic rampage credit for for killing things, but I don't think we have that kind of thing anymore.
Nope.
Finally found the ship.
How do you shoot though?
This is the third
good.
quadrant I looked for. I've been driving around for the last 10 minutes. Galactic Trade Market Quadrant, second bay over. I didn't realize this. This is really good to know. It's relatively cheap, all the way up to grade 5 ship armor, ship parts, are all just for credits. You do not need comms to buy any of that stuff. The top, there's 2 tiers above tier 5, which is tier 6 and tier 7. Are these tiers? No, so they only have like 5 and 7. There is a tier 6, but the tier 7 is the top, and those you can buy here. You can't buy all of them, but you can buy most of the tier 7 parts with the fleet comms, and it's, well, I don't know if it's a lot. It's not a lot for me.
Right. It's
Might
a
be
lot
for you.
It's a lot in terms of the days before GSF. Like if you were just getting fleet comms for space missions, these were pretty hard to get. And then the rest of the grade 7 stuff you can buy on the GTN, because as you'll see at the bottom of the list there's recipes. Cybertech can make those if they want to spend fleet comms on the you're buying a proton torpedo tube.
I never bought it. It's not used in any of the below grade 7 missions, so I never
No.
bothered to buy
Well,
it. Only for a
actually,
bonus,
it is.
right?
It is, but only for bonus missions. Yeah.
Only for, like, and only just like 1 or 2 even possible bonuses.
But they are bonuses that you can't make any other way.
Yeah. Right. But I
Like
never
there
bought
are targets that are immune to your blasters and your missiles and can only be hit with torpedoes.
proton torpedo.
So if you're after the achievements, then you need a torpedo tube. So how do you shoot? So like when you start up a mission, basically you shoot your blasters by your left mouse button, and you shoot missiles with your right mouse button. So you can, either of those buttons you can hold down, or both of them, and just shoot continually. The blasters you can shoot forever. It's a resource that never gets used up, so you can just hold your left mouse button down and just spray all over the galaxy, and hopefully you'll hit what you're, a few things here and there. The missiles you have a finite number of.
Yep.
That goes up as you improve the gear on your ship. Some targets have so much health or so many points that you have to get down that the missiles are the best way to.
Or like missiles plus blasters. I mean, you might have to either put a couple missiles into them or missiles and then finish them off with a blaster. Yeah.
If you're trying really hard to get a particular bonus mission and you've run out of missiles, sometimes you can still use your blasters to kill that. It's just takes a lot of shooting to do it sometimes. So let's see what else about shooting.
When there's no resources that are consumed by shooting blasters, but you don't want to hold the blaster button down all the time in all situations. So Seema will talk a little bit on defense.
Right.
The other thing is with the missiles don't just fire. They'll only fire if you're holding down that button and you swipe over something that the missile can lock onto. So one of the things I have done, especially in the easier ones, if I want to like blow up a bunch of turrets, you can hold down that right mouse button and swipe over a bunch of the turrets,
right?
And the missiles will go off. I think only like 4 will go out at a time,
Yeah,
and then it has
only
like a
4.
little bit of a cooldown.
Right.
So that's interesting too.
And also, maybe this is a good point to mention this: the missiles and the blaster fire both are smart. So you don't have to lead your target. As soon as you get the little targeting indicator will turn red when you've got your target, and as long as you shoot a blaster or a missile, it's going to hit that target. You can like shoot and then turn off onto the next thing, and it will eventually get there. You don't have to lead the target, or you don't have to actually see it happen. It can happen with you not looking at it. You're on to the next thing.
So I'm on the world map. I'm on the galaxy map on my ship now, Seema. There are a bunch of the missions up here, but you said something earlier that I didn't. I don't know if I didn't do it in the past or forgot about it, but you need to pick up the mission first, right? Before you could just click on it in the galaxy map and go to any of these things, but So what's the difference with picking up the mission from your console versus just going into the galaxy map and clicking on the?
If you want the rewards, they're associated with the mission that you pick up off the console.
Okay, so you won't get the rep token.
Mm-mm.
Well, there's two things. There's also a bug too. So why don't you explain that? So you got to pick.
Okay.
You have the console. So this is all on your class ship. Go on your class ship. Go on the console. Pick up the mission. I'm doing the Jamblin escort, which is the easiest one. And then there's a
Right.
reward associated with it. But this is the other thing I didn't understand. How do I get the reward? Because there's a bug, right?
So, do you remember, does Utini Farms remember back when BioWare first made the change so that you no longer get rep tokens in your inventory unless you go over the max for the week? Instead, it just applies directly to your amount of rep.
Yes.
So for
Teeny
space
Farms
missions,
remembers. That's the other that would do,
for
right?
space missions, since you're in space when the mission complete comes up and offers you the rewards, it doesn't really work because the rep thing doesn't go into your inventory because it can't because it's a rep thing, but you actually don't it actually doesn't apply to your rep either. So basically what you have to do at the end is once the rewards, like the pending mission comes up and you see the rewards, then you just hit escape, escape, escape until you end up back in your ship, and then up in the upper right it says, pending mission rewards. Then you can click on it. Then the rep token will go in your inventory, and then you can right click it and get the rep.
Got it.
Sir Galahad, all the missions have rep tokens now. And by mission, I'm specifically mean the ones you get off the terminal. So like the very first time you go into your ship and do a space mission, there are no missions available on the terminal. You have to do one run of it first, and then they'll pop up. And all of them pop up, actually. Well, actually, if you're max level, all of them pop up. If you're low level, I'm not sure if all of them pop up or not. I think they do.
Yeah, I
But
don't
yeah.
know. I don't know that one.
Oh, so you're doing a mission now. So like at the end, we'll see when the
Right. I think I lied. I think you can fire off a missile into space, but still, if you can do the swipe trick to get them, if you're anywhere close to a target, then that's where the missile will
and
go.
even though this mission
But,
is the
like I can
easiest
waste a
mission,
missile going off into space.
and it's very easy to do and very hard to fail at. It's actually tricky to get that bonus mission where you kill 20
Turrets.
gun turrets on the frigates. Yeah.
Oh, I see. I haven't even been trying. I wonder. And
You
that's the
it's
thing. I may fail the bonus because you'll miss it and you can't like circle around.
No,
Again,
you can't go back.
it's on
Right.
rails.
You miss your
So,
opportunity. Right. So
but I'm in my
almost,
tricked out ship, which I can blow up turrets just like with one shot. So in
but
fact,
those
there I
turrets
just
don't
hit the.
count. But they
uh,
don't count
I just hit
because
the
that's not a
bonus though.
frigate.
Well, I completed one of the bonuses just now.
Yeah.
No, there I just
Okay. So
completed the
there's
second bonus.
every mission usually will have a bonus that's kill a bunch of the little ships.
Yeah.
It's really hard not to get that one.
Yeah.
But then this one with the gun turrets on the frigate.
It's not on the capital ship. You have to do it on the
Yeah.
Republic
Yeah.
cruisers.
And then this, as you go further on into the space missions, there are bonuses for killing stuff on frigates, like taking out their satellites or taking out their engines, and it's pretty specific. You have to
Right.
figure out where they are and shoot them.
At the right time, and sometimes you have to, if it's something that takes multiple shots, you have to like make sure you shoot it with two missiles on the first pass, and then you might have to like wait till again it's on rails, so it'll come around, so you got to shoot it again on the second pass. You just have to learn the patterns because it's on rails. You can move your ship around on the screen so you're not like crashing into things, but the path is always the same. The pattern of when the fighters come out is always the same. The pattern of when the capital ships fly into your field of view is always the same. Okay,
The
so
missions are exactly mirrored between pub and imp.
here I am, Operation Silent Roar is complete, and you said I have to hit escape like a million times. What do I got to do?
Right. You have to escape
Escape.
until you leave
But I don't want
space and end up
I don't want to do it
end
on
up
this
on your
character. What? Oh no.
too late. Too
Too
late.
late. Who cares? Yeah, it's not like I was gonna get
Okay.
rep on another. So and then say leave
Yeah.
space combat.
Um. Yeah.
Abandon mission, leave space combat. Oh yeah, because it's already completed. Okay,
Yeah.
so leave space combat. So then leave space combat popped up in the middle of my screen. I hit leave space combat, and now I have 2 completed missions that still are in the upper right. There we go. So I get the one for Jamblin Escort, and here's the rep thing. So you escape until you're back on your class ship. Then you can
I mean,
hit escape,
you
and
don't
there I got
you don't have
45,000.
to click on it if you don't want to.
Oh, I could have saved it till tomorrow. Well, I didn't. I got it on another different character. I should have just logged in a different character and done it again just now, because now my mercenary has 212,000 conquest points. But that's okay.
I mean, in your inventory, you wouldn't have to click on it.
Oh, I no. As soon as I hit accept, it 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 didn't put it in my inventory because I'm not at the cap for the week. So it just burns it because it's I can't save that token. So there was
So
no way for
maybe
me to save it without. There was no way for me to accept the click accept on the mission rewards and keep that token because it's the new system of how it just consumes the token. Yeah,
okay.
accepting doesn't give you a token unless you are at cap on a rep. So Galahad, unless you are at cap on a rep for the week, if you're at the 12,000 or more rep that you've already acquired for a reputation for the week, then any additional reputation will appear in your inventory as tokens. Up until then, it doesn't, except in rare cases, which I've still seen some tokens show up once in a while. So yeah, I glossed over it. I stopped you in the middle of shooting because I was shooting. Barrel roll. Does it actually do anything? I have never, since launch for 10 years, does barrel roll actually do anything? Does it dodge? Dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge? Do you know?
So the I don't think it does.
I don't think it does anything. I
I
think it's
think
just
you
a
could
graphical
if
thing.
you I I mean, you do have to avoid asteroids and stuff because they will do a lot of damage to your ship, but so maybe you could if you really were, good at it, you could use a barrel roll to avoid an asteroid at the last minute, but I usually just fly around them.
I always expected, or I would use it from time to time when I would have a lot of incoming fire, thinking that maybe I'm dodging some of those blaster bolts, because you take a lot of damage during these missions, and the more difficult the mission, you will take a lot of damage. So you need to be very defensive, and you can, by moving your ship around the screen, be getting out of the way of a lot of that blaster fire. But I don't know if barrel roll does anything.
Yeah.
Proton torpedoes. So you had some notes on that. How do you actually fire it? Now that I've bought one.
So with the torpedoes, you fire them. It's similar to firing the regular missiles in that you use your uh, you press the right mouse button in order to get where you want it to go, and then when you get something targeted, you're going to release, right? But with the proton torpedoes, you have to wait for it to lock onto the target, which takes a second or two. So with everything else you're doing in space, you have to target something and then leave it targeted until it starts pulsing, and then you can take your finger off the mouse button.
How do you turn on the proton torpedo though to even make your right mouse button do the proton torpedo thing?
If you have proton torpedoes and you hold it down until they lock in, then it will pick the proton torpedoes instead of the regular missiles.
Okay. I'll have to play with that. I've never done it. I've never fired a proton torpedo. So play
Which,
around with
speaking
that.
of moving around, like you can move your ship on the screen with WASD, or you can do it via the mouse. And some people prefer WASD because since you're shooting with the mouse, they like keeping them separate. I personally just do everything with the mouse, even though sometimes it makes my ship go in weird, sort of a weird little dance. If I actually have to mouse over something, it'll point my ship to it. But I've just gotten used to it over the years.
I now that I'm remembering that, I have done AD in the past, sort of keep my fingers on A and D, and then you're using F1, F2, F3, F4 as well, so that just for that reason, so I can be aiming separately from, like getting my ship out of the way of a whole bunch of these like blasters that are now just like shooting me and killing me.
Now, once you get like up to a certain level and get some fancy things for your ship, when you go
I
through
just blew
like
up. I hit a asteroid.
yeah, I
I was
mean
looking off there in the
they're
distance.
yeah, they do bad damage. But when you go through uh, well, I don't know, those not a meteor field, but fields of those little satellites, there's an ability you can buy that makes you immune to damage for 15 seconds, which
EMP
is good for
burst. Yes.
getting through those. And there's an ability you can buy that does a lot of damage all around you, like a sort of galactic AoE that's good for going through those too, especially
Yeah.
if you have a target of killing X number of them.
So the
But
EMP makes you no. The EMP is the massive amount of damage, which is really good for
yeah,
that minefield one. And then it's the electronic warfare pod, which makes you untargetable for 15 seconds. It has a 4-minute cooldown though. So you're only using it once every couple. But tell me about some of the other survivors. So the big survival thing that I had to get really good at, I know, to run some of the more difficult missions was the power converter. I wanted to go to Tasha
right.
Station because of power
So
converters.
So one thing you have to understand is your ship has a certain amount of health, and then you also have shields. Like when you first start out, you don't have any shields, but you will get them. So the shields actually will regen themselves. So what happens is if an enemy is shooting you, it will do damage to your shields. It will not damage the health of your ship until your shields are gone. So what you want to do is keep your shields healthy all the time, and your shields will regen over time, but the shields will never regen while you're shooting. So it's kind of a dance, so that if you take a lot of damage and your shields are down a lot, then you need to spend some time not shooting to let them regen. So there is a piece of equipment you can get for your um, ship that makes that regen happen faster, and that's the power converter.
Right.
So that actually you have to use controls to engage, but it actually has two functions. One is it makes your blasters hit harder. One is it makes your shield regen faster.
Right.
So basically, once you have it, you want to have it in the first position where your blasters are more powerful all the time, unless you're actively trying to regen, and then you engage the regen part. So like something like this happening, once you're not shooting anything anymore, you could take a couple of seconds regen and then go back to shooting. But just keep in mind that if you're shooting, your shields are not regenning.
So when you have shields, for the people that can see this video, the shields are the sort of the brighter white line around my ship, my ship circle in the lower right. So here, if I stop shooting for a couple seconds, now they're about 3/4 full, and now they're ticking back up to the top. I'm not using the power converter right now, just so that we can see them tick back up. I just used the EMP burst on, and the EMP burst has a pretty long cooldown as well. It looks like 4 minutes. But I used the EMP burst on that last minefield to blast a whole bunch of them away.
Some people think that if they have the two, the second one engaged where it helps your shields regen, that's not that increases your protection against getting shot. It doesn't really. So you can't like go into a minefield like this, push 2 and take less damage. That's not what happens. All it does is regen your shield faster.
So there are bonuses like in this mission. I know, like I'm taking a lot of damage. So here, let me pop my shields, regen my shields a little bit quicker, because I'm behind this Republic cruiser that's shooting me real hard, and then I will pop back over to damage to blow up that thing that I'm following. I still don't know how to shoot the proton torpedoes, but we'll have to figure that out some other time. How? See, now I'm afraid of crashing into these asteroids. So there's
Yeah, I mean, that's part of the challenge of this particular mission is staying away from the asteroids.
there's multiple things. I just destroyed a heavy fighter. So there, I just destroyed the first of 4 heavy fighters. That has now given me the bonus mission that we didn't see before for destroying 4 heavy fighters, and that didn't pop up, as Seema said, until the first one showed up. And you see, it took me 3 missiles and some blaster fire to destroy that second heavy fighter. And I think here's 2 more heavy fighters down here.
And I think this mission, I'm not sure, but I think there are 5 heavy fighters. But if you miss 2 of them, yeah, like we've said earlier, then you're not going to be able to make that bonus.
Yeah.
You do still want to shoot them though, because otherwise they shoot you.
3. I got 3. Got 3 SEMA. But yes, you also, I mean, so you got to do a whole bunch of things. You'll fail the mission. So as Seema said, there's a main objective. You have to complete the main objective, or you fail. You completely fail. The bonus objectives, you can still complete the daily, complete the mission, by by failing bonus objectives. But if you're going for, so if you've done like all the achievements, I don't even remember the achievements.
Yeah,
What are the
I've done all
achievements
the
like?
achievements.
Okay, so what?
I think that the achievements are all like to do the missions and to do the bonus missions.
Okay. But not of the hardest, newest.
No, because when the newest missions came out, the hardest level of missions, they never added in achievements for those. So
Right.
you can complete all the achievements. You can be 100% space missions achievements without doing the hardest level things.
Got it. Well, that's good to know.
And that's good because I don't know that they are doable. I haven't met anyone who's done them.
They are crazy hard. You certainly need all of the grade 7. So there, I use the MP pulse one more time, or the whatever the blast all the things pulse one more time was to complete the rest of the mines. Completed that. But yeah, to do those hardest missions, you certainly need all of the grade 7 equipment on your ship. And some of that, almost not all of it is even available. I think some of it, a couple of it comes from the completing lower tiers, like the grade 5 objectives. And some of it comes from buying with commendations off the vendor. So we saw that earlier on the fleet. So it's a little bit of a journey to outfit your ship to even get enough of the grade 7 stuff so that you could even try to complete those missions. Otherwise, they'll be impossible.
Merlin says the rank 7 missions are doable.
Well, yeah, I would expect they are doable, but
I've just never wanted to put the time into it because you really do have to practice to the point where you know where each ship is coming so that you can survive each onslaught.
I mean, yeah, well,
then once you're surviving, then you have to figure out how to actually make the objectives. But I never survived the few times I tried them.
These are on rails, and the point of that's sort of the thing of them being on rails is you could just do it over and over and over until you learn the pattern. I mean, that's right, sort of the deal.
Like a boss fight. That's how like a boss fight is.
Like a boss.
Except for it's just you.
But here, as I'm going through this minefield, I'm getting to like shoot a bunch of stuff. I'm shooting a bunch of, flying through a minefield, flying through asteroids, assaulting capital ships. There's ones where you assault a giant space station. Boy, this is still going on. Aren't I done yet? Can I just like be done? I crippled the mine layer. How long do these things last in general, Seema? Like, what's
Well,
what's
I
the
mean, when you
range?
start them, it tells you how long it is, but,
Oh, it
like,
does?
yeah, I think
I was elected to lead, not to read.
if this is Ascendant Pride, it's 8 minutes,
8 minutes, man. Okay, well,
8-ish minutes.
I gotta be almost done. Uh, yep, there we go. I'm done.
But, yeah,
That
even on this one, it's helpful to know when you're going through the, minefield so you'll know when to use the cooldowns.
right. So so there I got 20 flea comms. I got the rep token. I got 9,000 renown points. I got 20,000 credits. I got 130 light side points, achievements. Uh, you said you do one every day? Is that what you said?
I do them on days that I think of it, and I'm like, "Oh, I could, do conquest on this character that I don't normally play by just jumping in and doing a space mission."
Yeah. So pretty cool. I go back and do them every once in a while. And as we said, you could level up, you could level to 75 just doing these. It would be kind of
Yeah, you
boring
could.
potentially, but you could do that.
Yes, and yeah, that would the thing is, if you treat it like a rep grind, then it's a really long rep grind. So I just treat it like, an easy
Mm,
conquest day, and then I don't worry about when I'm gonna get to legendary because it's way far in the future when you're doing it 200 rep at a time
right.
or however much that little token gives you.
And that's kind of key. And a couple people have asked in guild chat lately, how do I get, how do I grind this rep out? Well, don't. Just, do them, do one a day, get 7 characters to conquest per week, make millions of credits off of tech frags with OEMs or whatever, and you'll get it eventually. And that's the way to do it. I think you're absolutely right there, Seema. That's great advice.
I mean, in fact, in the far future, when I finish this rep, I'm gonna be sad.
Because we'll have wasted our opportunity to get those characters to their conquest target.
That's right.
If you did all the grinding and did it all this week and you had all of your reps to maximum rep, you'll never be able to get that that conquest objective ever again.
That's right. And the only 2 reps I have left are this one, and Onderon.
I still have Voss. I have GSI also.
Boss.
I have Voss. I still have Voss. 10 years. 10 years, and I just can't because I out level it too quick. Too quick, and so I just do the class story. If I'm even doing that, and I out level it, I've out leveled you. I have pits. I have the swoop racers to finish now too, though. So maybe they'll add more reps, and we'll be able to do more in the future. That'd be kind of cool. All right, I think that is a good rundown,
Oh, that's
and
a good point. Is there a rep associated with the Feast of Prosperity?
I think there is. I
Because I don't have that rep. But then
Is
again,
there a
that's
rep?
only gonna
No, there's
happen.
not. There's not a rep associated with Feast of Prosperity. There's a
That would be hard because
currency.
it's only 2 weeks a
Yeah,
year or whatever it is.
there's a currency associated with, but not a rep
Yeah.
associated with it. No. All right. Anything else? Is you wanted to sort of cap it off? I think
Let me
you're.
run my eye over this. I think we touched on everything.
I think we did. I think we dodged, dip, duck, dive, and dodged all of these missiles as we completed our mission here. I even ran two while we were talking. Audio listeners, I apologize. It was probably a little. I was probably a little discombobulated trying to fly a space mission and talk at the same time. But hopefully you got some of the basics there: how to survive, where to get the gear, why you would do it, and some of the tips on which ones to do. One question that came up earlier in guild chat, Seema, if you were going to do one of the harder ones for one of the bigger rep tokens, again, that you shouldn't bother with, but if you were, what was your favorite? Did you come up with one that was your
Oh,
favorite?
no. No, I said this one is the only of the harder ones I do, Ascendant Pride, because it's like it's like the entry level of the hard ones, but it's so much easier than the hard ones. But
It
it
was
doesn't
pretty easy.
give. I don't do any of them that give the medium token.
It was pretty easy as I was doing it here while talking and have not had done it. But I've got
Yeah.
all grade 7 equipment on my ship as well. I did dip my toe into one of the other here. So to cap it off in our last 2 minutes of the podcast here, what's one of the super hard grade 7 ones? Do you what is it called? Like what would it be named?
I don't know. If you scroll through there, you can see which ones give the
With
blue
blues.
spec,
So
the blue rep
Far
thing.
Cradle Strike. So here, let's load into Far Cradle Strike, and we'll see what happens. This is always a pain.
Finding them is a pain.
I gotta like use my eyeballs on the Far Cradle Strike. Recommended grade 7 and higher. There's no higher. Recommended level of ship upgrades, grade 7 and higher. Okay. Short-range Republic ships have been tracked to the far... Short-range Republic ships have been tracked to the Far Cradle, a refueling station in the unknown regions. Imperial fighter squadrons are needed to launch a surprise offensive and devastate the Republic station's defenses. Expect additional resistance from refueling destroyers. All right, so you're assaulted. I think I have done this. I've done this. This is a good one, too. So you're assaulting an Imperial station. You got to like take out the gun turrets.
I mean,
and you
there's
have
like
to,
2 or 3 levels of this.
Yeah, so maybe I did an easier level. You've got to destroy the landing bays. In fact, let me turn on let me watch. Am I Imperial? Oh, I'm Imperial, so here's a Republic ship. So this is going to start shooting me real hard, real fast. Ooh, here's Republic cruisers. Here's some bad guys. Ooh, they're not.
If you ever wonder
not
if
blowing
you're in
up.
range of something,
Nothing is blowing up, and things are in my face. What is going on? Oh, I killed one thing. Whoa! I gotta like fly in the middle of.
Oh yeah, this is. Oh, this is cool.
Oh, this is. What is this? Why is this not blowing up? Oh, these satellite stations are really mean too. Ooh. Whoa! I just hit one of the antennas. Shoot that. Blow up some turrets. Man, I'm like nailing these with my power converter module. Oh, you got to blow up these. See, I can't even talk when I'm doing this. This is not good, folks.
I gotta blow up these. No way, I gotta blow up these.
I'm firing all of my missiles and everything into these targets, and they're still not getting destroyed. There, I just destroyed a defense satellite. Yeah, so this is tough stuff, and you really got to watch where you're going. Oh, yeah, like I've got 5% of my health left, and I'm dead. So there we go. It's tough, but really cool and fun.
But yeah, you can see where if you practice that,
yeah,
then you would learn where you had to go to not run into things and where you
right. I mostly died from running into things.
Yeah.
As Merlin said in the chat room, the real key, and I found this even with the lower level ones, is the power converter and when to stop firing is kind of the key, because when you stop firing is when your shields regen. So you stop firing, your shields will regen. You need to know when to stop firing and when to fire so that you can complete the objectives, but still keep getting those shields back. And the constant switching between on the power converter between the power to blasters versus power to shields, get the feel for that. And then when you go into GSF, there's 3 power pools instead of just 2, blasters and shields. There's blaster, shields, and engines. Being able to switch between your power pools is the key to refining your capabilities in GSF as well. So there you go. There's a little extra tip for you. All right. I think with that, we are ready to wrap up for the week. Our EPC 384 droid is ready to jump out an airlock right here into the middle of this minefield of Republic ships to start broadcasting this podcast to all of you out there. For podcast links, follow me on Twitter at MaxTheGray. And if you know any cool people that should be playing with us, that should come doing space missions with us, or jumping into our Discord to get tips from SEMA on what SEMA does in space and what SEMA does in the shadows, There is a pinned post on what SEMA does in the shadows. It's very amusing to read. It's not. It's just it's just normal. But
You're right. It's
come
just
find
normal.
us. Hey, I'm trying to. I'm putting it out there. So you know, I'm selling it. AIE-guild.org, Discord link in the upper right. You can jump in there. We have guilds on both the Empire and the Republic side. We can get you in either one or both, as many characters used as you would like. Get in this week because we might do Galactic Seasons, Total Galactic War, win a planet. We might try for a planet next week. And with that, we will talk to you soon.
Later, everyone.